Attention, ladies and gentlemen, Gungans and droids across the galaxy. This is your Grand Admiral Arnold, Director of the Video Gaming Division here at the Galactic Empire. And just moments ago, you witnessed the marvelous Grand Arena as always, but we were getting a lot of questions in regards to the most recent forum post describing some of the new capabilities that these Galactic Legends are going to be offering, and people are freaking out, ladies and gentlemen. This post right here, it says a lot while also not saying much, if you understand my gist right now. Basically, this post happened while I was streaming, and a lot of people were worried about what this is saying, because this basically sounds like, we know Relics is a super important part of Galaxy series, but with this Galactic Legends mastery stat manipulation that these new Galactic Legends characters will have access to, it seems like the new Kylo Ren and the new Rey are basically going to enhance your Relics, which is a good thing for you, but it seems like they can also basically delete or basically mitigate the viability of all the Relics you've been putting all this time, money, and effort into. We're going to kind of break this down, kind of give you my understanding about how this is going to operate, because this is really going to change how we see the game, because a lot of us are going after Relics because a lot of these Relics are good, such as Jolie Relic, solid for a Jedi, Grievous's Relic, yada, yada, yada. But when we look at these characters, what if all the advice we've been giving all this time is going to be eliminated? Because let's say Kylo Ren or the new Rey, they're going to basically delete that Relic we've been recommending for so long for Skywalker or for Padme, Kenobi, yada, yada, yada. We're going to have to break down this post. I also got to say, I don't know if this is just my criticism. They're kind of the slow drip of information regarding the Galactic Legends. I kind of wish they would all put it in one post, because all this stuff kind of being pieced out there separately, people aren't getting all the information. And secondly, with all these big topics like this, it'd be nice to finally get a kit reveal or a full list of the requirements. A slow drip of everything. I'm not a huge fan for it. I mean, from a YouTube perspective, it's fantastic, but for the average consumer out there playing this game, you probably want more information up front. Let's go break down this post. I'm hoping there's gonna be more to come to kind of further explain this, but basically here, those Relics, they're gonna be tampered with quite a lot, it seems. Hi, Holotable. Here is our introduction to Galactic Legends. Describe their ability to manipulate the mastery stat. We talked a little bit about it in a video a while ago. I'll bring it up again in case you didn't see the video. Mastery was introduced with Relics, but we would like to dive into a little more detail about what this means for these characters. Mastery has a base value of 0 for most units. Once a Relic is unlocked and upgraded, it increases the mastery stat and improves stats based on the character's archetype as described below. So real quick, before we start dipping into this a little chart here, which is kind of confusing for the average person, let's hop over here and kind of show you what they're talking about. So let's take one of my Relic characters. Let's take General Anakin Skywalker. He's kind of the main thing right now that most people care about. He is a strength attacker mastery, and you see this plus 45, you might be thinking, all right, what does this plus 45 mean? Each character's got their own thing. Strength attack mastery, for example, Resistance Hero Poe, which is my current Relic project for more testing. Tactics attacker mastery plus 15. Well, what does that mean? Let's go ahead, hop over to their little chart and show you how it breaks. Let's bring General Anakin Skywalker as an example. Strength attack mastery, you get a nice big bonus when you go ahead and get these characters up to Relic 7. So going back over to the forum post here, what we're seeing is that strength attack mastery, go over here, we are looking for our strength characters, and he's an attacker. So these are the stats that are being amplified, the core attributes, I suppose, of these characters. And for Anakin Skywalker, General Skywalker, that is, the main stats that are being amplified, these archetypes they're shooting after, is accuracy, not the most useful in my opinion. Damage, that's big, and an armor and resistance penetration. That's why we see Skywalker do absurd amounts of damage, 200,000, 300,000 damage, and that's why the Relics really help out quite a lot. So let's go ahead and bounce back over here. This isn't a hidden information. This was kind of already there, but I think a lot of people didn't realize that this strength attack mastery was referring to these stats right below. Let's go back to Resistance Hero Poe, for example. Let's look at his tactics attacker mastery. His things that are being amplified are accuracy, critical chance, and damage, and that's kind of helpful because this guy can hit really, really hard. He's an attacker at the end of the day. Then if you go to things like where's Jolie Bindo? He's been so clutch for so many Jedi versus Grievous matches and Grand Arena. He's a tactics healer master, and we're not going to get as much of a bonus because I'm only at Relic 4, but critical avoidance, health, and resistance, those are incredibly important for Jolie. It's already hard enough to get critical hits on him. His health pool is so important to making sure you heal your team up as much as possible. So hopefully you kind of understand at this point what they're shooting at. It's kind of very abstract information for the most part, but hopefully that brief introduction kind of helped out. Now, if you kind of go down the list, you kind of see that strength amplifies kind of a lot of the same stuff. You see a lot of health steal going on here, and then your agility, you see a lot of critical chance, critical damage type of things, and for your tactics, you're going to see a lot of things like critical avoidance and health type of attributes being amplified. And this is kind of a while ago when they introduced relics in this post over here. They were really trying to create really further the power and the possibilities of all these characters, kind of giving them a very specific tool to make them even stronger. Grievous, obviously, he's all about health. Jolie Bindo, critical avoidance and health. So it's basically to master your characters and master their core attributes even more. So taking this point, moving it a little bit further now, how does this relate to Galactic Legends? This is going to help you in some regards if they're on your team, I suppose. But if you're fighting up against them, it basically sounds like, from what I'm reading, this might be paired to their ultimate ability that they bragged about a while ago, that these characters are going to have some ultimate ability that can turn the tide of the battle in your favor, or something very grandiose. So like that. Mastery can also be manipulated negatively, in which case it negatively impacts the character's associated stats if possible. So for example, although health is on the list and can be negatively manipulated through mastery, this manipulation can't directly defeat a character by reducing their health below 1. And then that's basically all they have to share. I kind of wish, again, they'd kind of give us more details. This says a lot while also not saying anything. It's kind of like your boss says, come to me when you have information, and you come with this, and they're like, go back to work. That doesn't help me out at all. It's very slow drip information. But what I'm getting from this is, let's say, I don't know, let's say Kylo Ren. We know that these characters are going to interact. They're going to negatively interact with certain mastery stats. What if Kylo Ren sees Jolie Bindo and says, I see you like critical avoidance and health. I'm going to basically put my grimy hands into your heart, the core attributes of your character, and squeeze those core attributes out of you, so that health that you brag about all the time, I can make it nothing. I can basically reduce you to 1. I'm not going to kill you off, but it's basically enough to make you useless, aka enough to make those relics you put into Jolie Bindo useless. That's kind of the main gist I'm getting with all this. And I know that power creep is a thing, constantly pushing the bar, pushing the envelope, creating some new interesting experiences. I'm sure in the end things are going to be all right. Every single time a new breaking character comes into the game, and we don't need to kind of go through history too much, but this is going to be breaking in some way. This is probably going to affect what relics we start recommending to people, because I'm guessing the new Rey and the new Kylo are going to interact with the meta in one way or another. But let's just take, for example, Darth Revan. He was so annoyingly powerful, but at that point we thought he was so broke it was impossible to deal with this character. But nowadays it's like, all right, there's a lot of counters to him. He was major power creep, but a lot of stuff comes up to meet that power creep between reworks, new characters, legendaries, yada, yada, yada. Those who saw the Jedi Knight Revan meta, in my opinion, the most annoying and most power creep meta we ever had. He's what broke the game and what moved us into what we are right now. He's not nearly as difficult to beat anymore. So I guess what I'm trying to do right now, Kyber Club, people of the galaxy, is that I'm trying to give out some comfort that whatever's coming out, these Galactic Legends manipulations, it's going to really hurt our relics, I'm guessing. We don't know which relics, so we don't know which mastery stats are going to be amplified. They're going to be reduced. But whatever I'm saying right now is that whatever is coming, if you're not going to get those Kylos and Reys right away, I'm not sure how many are going to be unlocked within the first month. It is a very whaley event, even though there's no really truly new characters. It's just mostly getting all the gears and relics up in order. But imagine getting all those Relic 5 Stormtroopers, First Order Officer, Resistance Trooper, and all of a sudden you realize that Kylo Ren and Rey, they just completely mitigate those characters' master stats. But we're looking at the negative side for a second. This could also open up a lot of opportunities. What I will say, I know we're thinking doomsday scenario right here. A lot of the comments I've been reading so far. Let me say this. I know when Relics were first released, wasn't really good press. It was not something people were wanting. Wasn't really something the game needed, but obviously it was just a new way of progressing characters, also making money, of course, in this $1 billion game that we're playing right now. But the great thing about it is Relics is what first opened up the door for meta diversity. It was all about Darth Revan. And then once, of course, Grievous got the second rework that helped and all that. But once the Relics came into play, Grievous became such an important character to start diversifying that meta up. Also, Jedi Knight Anakin, Echo, and their reworks, Fies. Relics really started breaking apart the meta, and it all really came down to these mastery stats, being able to increase your critical damage, your critical chance, being able to land those critical hits more often, the Grievous nuke team that we came up with a couple months ago. So there's a plus and con to all this. Right now, I think the meta is sitting very comfortable. Yes, General Anakin Skywalker is the more dominant team right now, but there are so many ways to counter it because of relics and all these new characters that we've been getting. So that might be a good thing that maybe these mastery manipulations that the new Kylo and the new Rey are going to offer is going to be beneficial in some way, furthering the meta diversity. I mean, right now, I'm trying to think best case scenario. It's kind of hard to say right now where this is going to lead up to. But as always, I always like to pass the ball over to you guys out there. Are you concerned with these mastery stat manipulations? Are you afraid that your relics might go completely useless after all this? I would love to hear your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. As always, if you did enjoy this video, like the video, comment down below, and subscribe so you're supporting the Empire and not missing a thing. And I'll see all you lovely people in the next video. Peace out, everybody.